Hey bike farmers, thanks for clicking in. This bike is gross. Oh, seriously, it is covered in bird. Customer reached out, said, hey, I've got a bike. It's got flat tires. Think it might need that, maybe a tune-up. Like, it's been sitting in my barn for a few years. I'm like, okay, bring it on by. Let's take a look at it. And I was like, come on. You know, this has got to be illegal. It's so gross. I mean, it's covered in bird. But I told her, I'm like, this is good content. So here we are. This thing is gross. I'm gonna show you how gross it is. We'll get some close-ups of all this filth. But I am 100% confident that I can make this bike better than brand new. Well, that might be stretching it, but it can definitely be brought back to life. I put air in the tires a couple days ago and they're still firm, so there's no slow leak. You know, these people come to me and they're just convinced of things and it's just not true. I meet all of my customers with incredible skepticism. It's not because I'm an asshole, it's because you do this to me and I have to. We're gonna replace the grips. Other than that, I think everything else is good. It's just a lot of cleaning, a little bit of lubrication, and some quick adjustments, and we'll take care of this thing. She'll have a rideable bike and it'll sit in the barn for another 10 years. So you kick back and relax. I am reluctantly going to get started on this. I mean, look at that seat. Have you ever seen anything like it in your whole entire lives? I mean, it is just gross. I mean, look at those handlebars. Just filth everywhere. Alrighty, per the usual, pop these wheels off, set them aside. Oh, not my bike. I mean, that certainly got some of the dust off. Now we'll hit it with the Dawn Power Wash and kind of give it its first good clean in here. That's overkill, just about right. Hey bike farmers, just a couple quick notes while there's a lull in the action. I recently figured out that I'm making about $15 for every 1,000 views with AdSense money. I can count on most of these videos hitting about 10,000 views. Each one of those videos takes about 10 hours to produce. I'm making about 15 bucks an hour before taxes. That's really not half bad, but it's not enough to live on. So I either gotta get really good at making videos or I'm gonna need your help. You can send a super thanks right now or consider joining the channel as a monthly sustaining member. Or head over to BikeFarmer.com and buy some merch. There's a link below in the description. Thank you so much for watching and thank you for your support. Now let's get back to the bikes. Pretty amazing. Just a good wipe down. How far it comes. All right, let's tend to the cables. You can pull that out, pop that cable loose. So this rear brake cable can come out. So you can see it. The shift cables, you know, they're gonna be hard to lube because there's nowhere to disconnect them. Let's see if we can figure something out. Here's underneath in the nether regions. We see where these cables kind of end up coming through the frame. I really don't like internally wired bikes, and everything is these days. I don't know. I mean, it kind of comes out of racing because it would be more aero. You know, these cable guides are always on most bikes. You have them down here by the bottom bracket, but you know, I'm just kind of half-assingly dropping lube down in there. Try to help it along a bit. Now, this bike isn't rusty, it was in a barn, right? So it's not like it rusted on us, but it's just filthy. So that's good, because it'll tune up easy. It's more of just the cleaning and the filth that was the problem here. Drop some lube on the brake cable back here. I'll help that issue. Able to get at this shift cable up here. Let gravity kind of suck it down in there. This one might be a little trickier. Barely get at it. Little dab will do ya. Try to get some of the moisture out of the shifter. I'm going to take some one step, finish line one step, and just flood the zone. All right, we're gonna let that be okay with itself. I should have a very wet rig somewhere. Ah, here it is. Pretty chill morning for me. Up here in the truthing stand, I gotta be honest with you. I have been feeling lately like I've been drinking too much caffeine. Now I've had coffee, like a big mug of it, or 2 or 3 cups every morning of my life since I was like 16. It's like over 30 years of lots of coffee. Typically, well, lately, the last, I don't know, 10 years or so, been getting up really early with my wife who writes in the morning. I'll just sit there and drink coffee for an hour and just surf the web and whatever. Then I usually move over to the computer, maybe edit some video, do some other self-employed computer stuff, actually be productive for a while, but I drink coffee pretty much all morning long. And then a lot of times, like when I come down here and do these videos, I'm like really jacked up on caffeine. And then I have second breakfast around 10 o'clock and I crash so hard that I need a nap in the morning. Sometimes I do. And then you also know, anybody who watches this knows I pretty much nap every day after lunch. And I always have like a soda or something caffeinated with lunch, and then I wake up and have more caffeine, and then a lot of times in the evenings I'll have another soda, something lighter. But I'm caffeinated. I'm just riding that roller coaster all day, every day. I have not been feeling well, and my energy levels are all over the place and just not good. So I don't know, like anybody that I've ever talked to is like, oh, caffeine, right? Quit caffeine. Like easier said than done, right? I've quit nicotine, I've quit alcohol, I've quit other things. Big life change, it's the main thing, and it's like all I have left is caffeine, and it's such a wimpy little drug. It's like, it's not even a problem. It's not a problem. Well, yesterday I started half calf. in the mornings. And so I've been doing 2 cups of half calf. And I tell you, I think I noticed a difference. Now I'm starting to feel a little weird right now. I've already had second breakfast and I haven't just crashed afterwards. It's a little later in the morning than usual is what I'm saying. I kind of got a little bit of a headache, kind of feeling like it's coming on. Feel a little woo, you know. But here there's a couple ways to do it. You can either just go cold turkey and just have a headache and feel grumpy and terrible and whatever, just for like a week, and then you're done. That doesn't seem so bad. Or I've heard that you can taper for like a month and just, you know, some people will do like, you know, 25% less and then 50% less and 75% less. But if you go like for a month, you don't really notice the withdrawals, and the next thing you know, you just don't need caffeine. So that's what's going on with me. I'm trying it, and I'm so far like into it. Like I think it's really good. You know, we'll see. Golf course opens on Thursday, and I'm usually on the Mountain Dews out there, or, you know, Arnold Palmer's, you know, a little iced tea. Like I'm kind of caffeinating out there. But I know a lot of times, like I get a little worked up, and it just feels like caffeine buzzy, you know, like it's kind of jittery and standing over those putts. And I just, you know, maybe I can just like steady my mind a little bit better. I'll just feel just better in general. It's good for the soul. I hope so. I like doing self-improvement stuff, you know. Gotta look out for number 1. So if you've ever quit caffeine or experimented with this, or if you quit and then started again and wish you wanted to quit again and whatever, let's talk about it in the comments. It's a community here. Maybe some other people will pipe in. You know, it doesn't have to be about bikes all the time, believe it or not. What a disgusting bicycle. But it's coming back to life quickly, as suspected. It's just, this cleaning, it's a lot. I put a little extra. I told her, I'm like, I'm gonna have to charge you the more expensive tune-up because you brought it into me. Like, this is one of the most filthy bikes I've seen. It's a thing too, like in the mountain bike shops, you know, in the mountains where there's trails around, and, you know, people just bring in their filthy bikes. Don't do that. You know, you can spend the time to knock the mud off before bringing it into the shop. Now, a lot of shops will have like a cleaning booth too, and so you can pay somebody to do it. But for the most part, most bike shops, it's just like, we just hang these things up and put them in the stand, and then, you know, we have to deal with it. It's so time consuming. It's just, you know, and like when it's literally bird shit, you know, it's a health hazard, I would assume. I mean, it's rude, isn't it? What do you think? Is it rude? Or am I a retailer, so I just have to accept it and put up with rude people because, you know, if I don't like it, I should get a real job. Let me know in the comments. You think that's bad? Try being a nurse. Oh, I think the skewer's on backwards, or the tire's on backwards. The easiest way is just to flip the skewer. So the tire kind of has that tread. You want it pointing forward, and the skewer is on the left side of the bike. Just an aesthetic thing, really. And drop a little lube down into the pivot. Displace some of that water that probably got down in there. Replace, displace and replace. We're in a boat. Displace fell out. Oh no, that was Pete and repeat. But that feels like new. Again, I don't know if it's better than brand new. Do the same up front here. All right, we didn't lube this cable, so don't forget to lube your noodles. You know what I mean, guys? You know what I'm saying? Well, what the heck? What the heck is going on there? Only pulling from one side. Check to see if the wheel's in straight. Oh, it's because I flipped the wheel around. It's not completely dished. Well, it's easier to adjust the brakes than flip the tire around. We're gonna disconnect that, get this spring out of the way. Right, and then this spring is pulling the whole system up against the rim on this side. Loosen that pad, get her centered and equilibriumized. Tighten her back down. Okay, and then we'll do the same on this side. So now it's pulling that way. All right. Make sure it's hitting flat and equilibriumized. That's a new word. It's probably German. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, ho, ho. Oh, baby. Don't show your wives, boys. They will leave you. For me. Yeah, buddy. Get these disgusting bird flu grips off here. I replaced the grips on my golf clubs, or a few of them, the other day. It's way tougher than this. Oh, dropped a grip. I don't know why I just told you that about the golf grips. What do you care? Huh? What do you care? You don't. Oh, that was Suave Max Hold. It's like Aquanet, only more available, I suppose. I want to start using whatever hairspray Donald Trump uses, so for you MAGAs out there, you let me know what kind of hairsprays that guy used, and I'll get some. It's got to be the best if he's using it. That's all I'm saying. Alright, so that's low gear. We're rubbing on the inside there. I'm going to turn the barrel adjuster in on the shifter until it stops rubbing. Now the high gear, and it's barely rubbing there. It's about as good as we're going to get with this setup, but it's really good. I mean, this bike is fully functional already. Yeah, I mean, seriously, like, Sometimes these tune-ups are just so easy. I love Treks from this era with the rim brakes, you know, and these 3x7 drivetrains. You know, this is just a Serra with this style of shifter. They're so easy to tune up. There's just, you know, they're pretty robust. Oh, this rear hub's really loose. I didn't notice that. I'll have to fix that. You know, I find a lot of stuff, you know, at the end here when I just kind of do the final check over of the bike. In my videos, sometimes I rush it just to finish the video up, but it's always good to just take a step back and go through the whole thing and find the stuff. You know, check that headset again, rub things down. The final wipe down. That's a thing that's been in the last few videos. I could probably stop doing that anytime, wouldn't you say? My kids would want me to stop doing that. I don't necessarily pay attention to what my kids want. I'm very Gen X that way, you know? We're put here to serve our parents, weren't we? All right, let's fix that. Let's see here. So unfortunately, the loose part of the hub is on the drive side here, so we gotta take this all apart. I like to sit down when I do hub work. I've been doing it up on the workbench thinking it's easier for you guys to see, but I don't think that's the case. But working on wheels on your lap, I think, is the way to go. At least for me it is. Okay, so I backed that lock nut off. Oh. And then, oh, we gotta get this cassette off too. I think I'm having a little bit of brain fog from the caffeine thing today. Can you tell I'm a little more chill than usual? I hear that comes around. I was gonna work on a personal bike project. It's coming up. I'm gonna rebuild the all-rounder with some new fancy parts. And then I realized, you know, it's a Rivendell all-rounder and I want the fancy Rivendell shifters on it. I've always wanted them on that bike. And since I'm gonna be taking the handlebars and everything apart, now's the time. So I gotta wait for that order to come in. So hopefully I can find a time next week to do it. So we'll just clean this off because it's all wet from the hose down. All right, so we got both lock nuts kind of backed off on this bad boy. We're gonna turn this one back on this side. And we're gonna push the axle through, which pops this up. So then, that rag is not a good one. I got so many rags up here. Oh my God, there's like another dust cap here. We're only doing this so we can get our flat 15 right there. Okay. Your cranker down, eh? And while you have it open, you might as well get some fresh grease down in those balls. Okay, now we're just tightening this down. Tighten the cone down. And then the lock nut on top of it. Okay, so I got this silky smooth, freshly greased. Everything is finger tight. I'm kind of holding that side. This side I've cranked down on and tighten that lock nut on the cone. Okay, so now that it's finger tight, Then we get our 15 mil on the flats of the cone, and if you just tighten these down, that backs off that cone just a little tiny bit, and we have just the ever slightly smallest amount of play. It's just a little bit more than I think we want. And then I didn't get any too many nasty comments about doing this little move where you grab both lock nuts and then just like barely tighten everything down on each other. Just a smidge to make that final adjustment. And it might be a little tight. There's a little bit of play in there. It's gonna be close. It's definitely good enough for who it's for. You want just a little bit of play. Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah. Just a little bit of play, because then this skewer, the cam mechanism of the skewer, it pushes everything and squishes everything together, and that sets the final preload. The final preload. All right, I gotta stop doing that. You know, I just shouldn't be doing it. And probably should have waited till I put the cassette on to do that. But I think my tool gets around it. Oh, drop the dust cap. Oh, flip the wheel over. Oh, I gotta go around the skewer. Oh, get that dust cap on there, y'all. We're good. Oh, flip the wheel over. Oh, torque disc. Might as well get some grease going in here. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. Sounds like the Nutcracker or something. Fixed. Real nice. That's it. From bird shit to beautiful. The TREK Verve 3 is back in action, and she's gonna be stoked. She was like, I really regret just buying this bike and letting it sit there and, you know, kind of rot in the barn, and was excited to hear my optimism and bringing it back to life. And she got away with one here, her neglect and not caring. So I'm really hoping that if she drops $150 or so on this tune-up, that she's gonna end up riding it a little bit this summer. And actually, you know, I don't really care how much people ride their bikes. Like, I don't care what you do with these things after you fix them. I do like that people are responsible stewards of these fine machines. I really love the bicycles, and I love it when people get excited about riding them, but I don't care at the end of the day. You can do whatever you want. It's your life, it's your call. Bacardi rum. Hey, you know, thank you so much for watching to the end. Watching to the end is a great way to support this channel. If you liked it, give it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. You know, type in with your thumbs, I guess, fingers, if you're on your computer, thumbs, and be like, hey, I noticed you didn't blah, blah, blah. Why did you not blah, blah, blah? Let me know in the comments. You know, if you really have a little extra money and want to pass it along, you can click the super thanks button. You know, I just take that money, go get the tacos into my belly. Gives me energy to make more content. If you don't want to do that every time you watch a video, you can just join the channel and it automatically jumps right out of your account into mine. Go ahead, just cancel one of those old subscriptions you're not using and give me the money instead. And then it's a win-win-win. They lose, but they deserve it for ripping you off in the first place. I'm not ripping you off. This is good content. And if you want more good content and want to know about it, click that notification bell so you and your bikes can stay tuned.